Hello, Africa. My name is Eunice Tony, and this is ETV Ghana's African Women's Voices Show. It is the show that tackles issues pertaining to women as they contribute to national development. You're welcome to another exciting edition of the show, and I want to say a very big hi to our Facebook family. I know you're watching me right now. Thank you for always joining from across the world. Thank you so much. As usual, I like to talk about the responsible brands that make me look this good. I want to start with Chana Sheto. Chana Sheto is Ghana's #1 pepper sauce. And you know the beautiful thing? A lot of you know that each time I'm starting the show, I start with Chana Sheto. Even some people have had to record me actually doing the LPMs with me, and I really like that. That means that you've been listening and you've been very attentive to everything we say. I also want you to put it into practice. So first, you learn the LPMs, no problem. Then you go to the nearest shop to get your Chana Sheto. And everyone who did is definitely given a very good story around it. It really gives your food the right flavor. If you're the kind of person who wants it really hot and spicy, there is a variant for you. Those who want it mild, there's also a variant for you. Their phone number is right now at the base of your screen, so please get it right away. Also, my hair is proudly put together by Awu's Hair. You can find her on Instagram and Facebook at Awu's Hair. I mentioned all the time that Awu can sort you out. If you just had a baby and you feel like your hair is not looking good, you have this program that you really need to do something nice around, and you want to have a good hair, you want a home service, what is it you want? Awu will sort you out. So I need you to take her number and give her a call. She'll make you look as good as I am right now. Lizzie's Tomato Mix is Ghana's #1 tomato mix for that delicious jollof rice, delicious abenkwan, peanut butter soup. If you like a tomato mix in your okra stew, whatever meal it is you're preparing and you need tomato mix in it, I want you to choose Lizzie's Tomato Mix because it really, really will give you a great taste. That very delicious okra stew you took the last time, I'm telling you, that person used Lizzie's Tomato Mix. I'm very, very sure of that. So please take their number as well and give them a call. And my beautiful outfit, as usual, I love my sleeves and I like everything about what I wear. And it is always provided for me by Afariwa Styles. Afariwa is into contemporary ladies and gents outfit. So all you need to do is know your size. You walk in, fit. If it works, you step out and you say bye-bye to all those fashion designers that will always tell you stories about, oh, there's no light, oh, today I had to do that, with all those excuses. Say goodbye to all of them. Once you step into Afariwa Styles, you definitely will be sorted out, whatever kind of outfit that you want. You can locate them also on Instagram and Facebook at afariwa.styles. Their phone number is also on the screen. Please pick it up. And you can also go there yourself to check them out. They are located in Osu and also along the Teshi Nungwa Road at Container Bus Stop. It's not difficult to locate at all. So please try out Afariwa Styles, try out Lizzie's Tomato Mix, try out Chana Sheto, and oh, my hair maker, Awu's Hair. Right, so as usual, we always tell you what's going on with women across Africa. Today, on 60 Seconds Update, we're going to be telling you an empowerment session that will be taking place, and we do not want you to miss this. So, just stay tuned.
I am proud to present to you my able partners and trainers for this year's Zango Women Livelihood and Empowerment Program. 100 slots for learning liquid soap, floor cleanser, cold pressed liquid soap, body butter, and emulsifier sugar scrub with Modara Jadora for 4 days. 2. 5 slots for boho locks, fox locks, gypsy locks, goddess locks, passion locks, passion twist, butterfly locks, Mali twist, and knotless braids at Giovanna's for 3 months. 3. 10 slots for professional millinery at Rainey's Millinery School for 6 weeks. 4. 50 slots for local juices, cold processed fruit juices, and mocktails and juice presentations with hazy fruita juice for 3 days. 5. 2 slots to learn sales and exceptional customer service for startup at Selena Beb, top fashion retail store for 6 weeks. You are entitled to choose only one training. I am really looking forward to select passionate, dedicated, trustworthy, and young girls and women who really need this to gain economic empowerment, be it Muslim or Christian. Please send your application via WhatsApp, formal or informal, only to 020-562-7574. Application will be closed on 30th August 2021. For sponsorship or any support, please call 020-562-7574. When women come together to support each other, amazing things happen to other women. I, who also need a push, serving humanity. The President of Ghana swore in Angela Chirmantin Jimo as a member of the governing board of the Bank of Ghana on 20th August 2021 at the Jubilee House. She's currently IBM's Executive Director and Regional General Manager, covering 35 countries in North, East and West Africa. She became the first female country general manager for IBM Ghana and Africa. Prior to joining this role, Angela was trained by top IBM executives at the headquarters of the IBM Chief of Staff for Martin Skirta, former SVP Global Marketers. Her story sets as a strong precedent for aspiring women leaders in Africa and beyond.
Back to ETV Ghana's African Women's Voices show. If you just joined us, well, you haven't missed that much. Petra is in the house, and I'm going to be introducing her shortly. However, I'd like to link you up to a footage that we played about a year ago. That was when Petra introduced jungle dance to people of Africa and to the world. She has absolutely no idea that African Women's Voices show actually talked about this book launch when it was launched during 60 Seconds Update. So I want us to watch it, and then we can link up to her. Do stay tuned.
Marketing practitioner Petra Abba Asamoah has released her second book in Accra. The book, titled Jungle Dance, is a novel she has described as a reflection of her corporate journey of almost 15 years. Speaking at the launch of the book, the General Overseer of ICGC, Dr. Mensa Otabil, explained that the nation's level of civilization is reflected in its art. You can check the development of a nation by its artistic expression in literature, music, or the fine arts. The book captures feelings of despondency, rejection, and confusion interlaced with the triumphs, friendship, and love that two women experienced in their corporate.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, well, from last year we are back to the present, and I'd like to introduce to you our lady, Petra. Petra, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Venus. That was a pleasant surprise. Thank you so much.
I decided to hold back on that so you don't get to know. We all wanted you to be surprised, and I'm happy that it was a pleasant one for you.
Very. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So you're welcome once again to ETV Ghana Studios on the set of African Women's Voices show.
I'm excited to be here.
I am too. And you know what? We're going to be talking about this book. You know, she said a lot in it, and we're going to delve into it. However, because this month is our month of finance and insurance series, Petra still is the one we would like to talk to, because she already has a book called Sales 101, where she shared some pointers around what people need to know about sales. And we've been helping women to become entrepreneurs in different spaces. And since Petra is here, Petra would like you to kindly share just about 3 tips around how women should go about sales. And if you enjoy it, which I know you will, please find the book. Where can they find the book, Sales 101?
EPP has copies, and then Book Nook bookstore. So Book Nook bookstore has copies, and then Manor of Books. So any of those bookshops have copies of the book. Yeah.
Sure. So let's go on with the tips.
Okay. So I think the first and most important thing that women or everyone should know is that everyone is in sales. That's one of the key things I try to drive home in the book, that whether you have the title of sales executive or sales manager or sales officer, we all sell in different ways in the things that we do on a daily basis. So as a TV hostess, you are
Mhm.
selling.
Okay.
As if someone is a pastor, they are selling. If someone is a teacher, they are selling. A doctor is even selling to a patient to convince them to take the medication how he or she wants them to take
Precisely.
it. So that's the first thing that we need to recognize. And I say that because very often I hear people saying that, oh, I don't feel like I'm cut out for sales. I'm not a very eloquent person. But selling is such an important skill that it's a survival skill for business. Just like cooking is a survival skill for life, or swimming in some instances. So it's something that we need to really avert our minds to and focus a bit more on. So whether you're in sales or not, know that at different points in our lives or different points in our interaction with other people, we are selling. So that's the first thing I want everyone to know. We are all salespeople.
Sure.
The second and most important thing is that selling is a skill. So, like I said at the beginning, where you hear that someone says, oh, I don't really think I'm cut out for it, or I don't think I can do it because I don't like talking. That's the first thing. It's not a natural talent. Nobody comes to the world with skills. We come with natural inclinations to do things. So even though if you're a bit more extroverted, you might do better or it might be easier for you, sales is a skill. Selling is a skill that you can master. So regardless of what your background is, if you decide that this is something I want to be able to do, you'll be able to do it. My background had nothing to do with marketing. I did the first degree in political science with philosophy, and then I went into a sales environment, and I had to learn from scratch. And so once you decide, you can acquire the skill. So that's the second thing I would like people to avert their minds to, that it's a skill. And the third thing is that there are different types of salespeople. So back again to the issue of extroversion or introversion. You see that someone is very bubbly and very sociable, and so you think that because you are quiet and reserved, you can't be an effective salesperson. That's not necessarily true, because there are different types of salespeople. So if your natural disposition is to being quiet and reserved, there's a way you can go about sales. And just to add, sales is both an art and a science. There's a flair to it, but there's also a systematic process to selling. And once you get into the systematic process to selling, it becomes easier for you to master.
Fantastic. So for you to be able to get into that systematic mood, I need you to go to EPP Books to get Sales 101 by Petra. All right. So we'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, Jungle Dance all the way. And you are welcome back to ETV Ghana's African Women's Voices show. Petra Asamoah is still here, and we're going to kick off with the conversation around Jungle Dance. So Petra, we'd like to start from the very beginning, okay? When I read the book, I saw something that really caught my attention, and that was the fact that you mentioned that your default age was 35.
Yes. I look 35.
Because 35 looks so beautiful.
Yeah,
And you know what? I could relate to that as well. It felt like, I think I should always say I'm 35 years old. That's it. Even when I cross it, I'm still 35 years old. It's a very beautiful age.
Very beautiful age.
All right, so
So
let's get people to really understand what you meant by that.
It was, I think was it Mr. Joe Jackson who said 35 was young enough to be energetic and agile, and old enough to be wise. And I just felt that, oh, that's a very, very wise saying. So I'm keeping it. And you know how when you're younger, you're very eager to be 30, very eager to be 35, and then once you get there, you're like,
am I really getting older?
No. So I turned 38 this year, and it's so close to 40 now, and it's just dawning on me that I'm not the 23-year-old I was when I was coming out of university. So yeah, it's just an exciting age. But for me, I think that age is also a state of the mind. If you want to be young, you'll be young. If you want to be old, you'll be old.
You'll be old as
so
well.
I'm psyching myself to stay young
Say
for as
35
long
at
as
least.
for as long as I can. Not 25. 35 is
35,
yeah. I mean,
it's
yeah,
cool.
It's cool.
Amazing. Okay, so if we look at Jungle Dance, for those of us who have read it, it felt so real. So I want to know, was it based on your personal experiences, or was it based on the stories people were telling you? Because it was just relatable.
Okay, so thank you very much, Eunice. And I'm excited that you said relatable, because that was the objective. When I started writing the book, the main thing was I wanted it to be a book that readers could relate with. I wanted it to be a mirror And that's one of the things that literature does. It gives you a sense of what society is or what society can be. And I really wanted the book to be a mirror. And I think I've with your testimony,
You've
I've
achieved
achieved
that.
But is it about me? Yes and no.
Okay.
It was a reflection. So, like you said in the introduction, one of the things I wrote about was as I was turning 1 year older, so moving into 36, I was thinking, 35 was such an interesting year. So many things happened. How do I want to package this year and make it into a good memory? I thought about writing a book and saying maybe 35 things I've learned in 35 years. But it didn't quite sit well. And so I felt that, okay, let me try. Let me dare myself to do something uncomfortable. Because my first book was a marketing book. Sales 101 is in my field, is what I've done throughout my career. And having a bit of an academic background, it was not too difficult to write a marketing reader. But to delve into literature, to do a fictional book was a lot of work. It took me 18 months to write from the time I started.
Wow, that's a lot of patience.
A lot of time. And not just writing, but editing, making sure that the plots made sense, making sure that it followed the logic of literature, and I won't be shot by the powers that be. So it was quite an effort, but it was just that it was my gift to myself and to the world of what I've experienced, what I've observed, what I think can be better, what I think doesn't really need to be as is. But I also wanted it to be an entertaining book. I didn't want it to be a textbook like Sales 101. I wanted it to be something that you can read and relax. Because I noticed that a lot of times when I talk about reading with friends and family, there's always a thing of, oh, I don't have enough time. I'm so busy. I don't have time to read. And I've always thought that isn't reading a form of entertainment? But yes, it's a form of entertainment, but you need time to do it. And I wanted the book to be the type of book that you could just pick up and read, smile, laugh, put it down, come back to it, want to come back to it. Because you can be reading a book and you just get to the first chapter and say, no, it's stressing me.
To it anymore.
Exactly. So that was just the thinking with the book.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, it's good to know that that response to whether it's your story or people's story, and you gave it a yes and no. Let me go deeper. I found some characters really engaging. We had Yomba, we had Mirabelle, we had Abriwa or Abrima. And we had Bosse. Obviously, Bosse is not cheap because Bosse is a Nigerian in the book, so it's not used. Which of them do you identify with?
None of them in totality.
Okay.
So
none
of them
and
are
pieces
me. Yes.
Of each of them.
Exactly. So what I tried to do was I tried to spread, and it was tough for me to have multiple main characters. So regularly a book will have a main protagonist and then an antagonist or a foil, things like that. But what I tried to do with Jungle Dance was to spread the characters that exist in the workplace amongst different characters. So Yomba would be your young corporate executive who is starting out, who is trying to find herself. So she's in the age bracket of just about 25 to 30. She's not sure what she wants to do. She's struggling, how I was struggling when I started, and struggling in sales. So Yomba is a sales executive like I was when I started. And for those who read Sales 101, I talk about how it was so difficult for me in the first chapter. It was like I was swimming in the deep blue sea of confusion. Okay. So that's Yomba. But in another sense, Yomba is not me. But she represents a lot of young people and the things that they would typically experience at work. A boss who you're not sure how to handle, maybe changing managers. So she had one boss who had a particular leadership style, Cornelius, and then she had another boss who had another type of leadership style. So adjusting to a new boss, adjusting to the world of work, wanting to quit and not being able to, because then you're asking yourself, if I leave now, what am I going to do? I can't just walk into another job. It's not that easy to get another job. So Yomba is that person. Bosse is much older, more experienced, but a different experience. So she is an expatriate senior executive moving into a different country. But in some instances, I also wanted to portray another aspect of the world of work through Bosse and Manche's relationship. So the idea of how does the spouse interact with the whole process of a senior executive, how does that dynamic of partnership play out? And so that's Bosse. Mirabel is also a different person. So a bit of the differences I projected just also reflects on why the book is even called Jungle Dance.
Okay.
Because in the jungle you have different types of plants, different types of animals, different species of different things, and that's how the world of work is. You don't get everybody who likes you in the office, or you like.
True.
And I mean, I've got the point where I realized that it's okay not to necessarily like everybody, but you have to be cordial. You have to be able to work with them. You have to look beyond your personal issues and respect the institution, why we're here. And so that's the sense with which Jungle Dance was put together, and the multiple characters. So the different things that happen, the different relationships, the dynamics, the politics, the tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tears, the struggles. I like the fact that we've gotten to the part where we talked about the tears or the struggles, but we'll be going for another commercial break. When we return, we are going to begin to talk about the struggles and the tears that women get to face in this world of corporate business. Do not go away. And you are welcome back. I'd like to go over to our Facebook page to see the comments that are coming in for Petra. I need to read them, okay? First of all, I usually talk about the waves. A lot of people do send their waves and their highs for us to know they're watching us from various parts of Africa and sometimes even around the world. So I'll be starting with that. And from the UK, I see your wave. Isn't one no Kereke? I said today I'm watching with my family. Thank you so much. From the United States, I also see your wave. From Tokyo, I see your wave. From Japan, from Australia, I see your wave. From Madagascar, I see your wave. We're coming down to Africa now. I see from Cote d'Ivoire, from Ouagadougou, from Togo, from Abuja. I also see from Enugu. I see a wave from Nnewi in Anambra State. Thank you so much. You're all watching. I see from Casablanca. You're sending a wave from there too as well. Thank you so much for watching us. And let me just move and come to Ghana and see those of us who are waving. Okay, I see a wave from Tamale, from the Volta region, from Salt Pond, from Sunyani, from Axim. I also see from Kotokraba, it's also in the Cape Coast. I see some more waves. Oh, from Ho. I see from Lubatota. Wow, in the Volta region as well. Thank you so much. And okay, I can't do all the waves, but just know that I've seen you, okay? And I'm going to return all the waves. And then going over to the comments, I'm seeing the first comment from Samantha Water of Fair. She says, speaking of eloquence, I always enjoy listening to Petra. She speaks very eloquently. Wow. Samantha Wutofe comes back again and says, you guys look great, making African women proud. Thank you so much. And Joyce Sakite, she says, yeah, now this year I'll be in that beautiful age. So 35. She wants to maintain the 35 as well. All right. And she also came back again to say, Mrs. T and Petra Abba Asamoah. Okay. Thank you so much. Abbas Gideon Goro Abbas has sent us hearts. Thank you. Eva Frimpong says, so true and well said, dear. Okay, so keep your comments coming, and towards the end of the show, we're going to open up the phone lines. If you have any questions for Petra Abba Asamoah, please, you can ask those questions. Before I went on the break, I talked to you about the fact that we are going to be talking about the struggles of women, and we're going to link it to the book. The book actually opened up to how Sunday nights into Monday mornings actually appear for women. A lot of you don't know what we go through when the week is about to start. It's not so easy for us. It's part of the struggle. But before we get in there, I just wanted to let whoever is watching right now, please understand that when women are talking about their struggles, it's not like you don't know them already. Some people may say, but we already know it's about work-life balance, it's about relationship, or you don't get promotion. We know it. What else are you going to say? We keep saying it because we're not getting the results that we want, okay? 1. 2, there are other aspects of what our struggles are that can be found in this book. So for you to understand your wife, your sister, your girlfriend, that lady in your life better and what she's going through, you need to get the Jungle Dance, all right? Okay, so let's go over to the struggles that corporate women face in this business world.
Numerous. and I mean, you're so spot on when you say that we talk about them because we're not getting results. I feel that it's important that we continue to highlight them and continue to speak about them because we make up a significant percentage of, even in Ghana, half of the population are women, and half of the population cannot be dissatisfied or not expressing their full potential. When you come to the world of work, there's so many things, so many struggles that, I mean, I saw a cartoon recently that showed a man and a woman in a race. And it says, so the man and a woman on a corporate race, and the woman has to jump over hurdles of laundry, childcare, stereotypes, and all of that to get the same destination this man is going on. And it just brought to the fore of my mind how difficult it can be sometimes, not impossible.
Okay.
So I think for me, the first thing is, and this was represented through Boss's life, how your career progression sort of coincides with your biological growth or your family. Typically, you would have a woman getting into management around maybe 30, 35, or her responsibilities are growing. Around the same time, she's also having a family. And there's the very glaring gap of how does this interface with what she's trying to achieve. The assumption is always that you must take a step back from your ambition, your ambition and your career to give time to family. Nobody ever asks that of compatriots, the men. It's just assumed that somebody else would be there to do that. So that's, for me, is one of the biggest challenges, that the burden of, well, I shouldn't use the word burden, but the responsibility of childcare falls squarely on the laps of women, and that can be very tough. And now you ask that, so what should organizations do? It's not their business.
Yeah,
I mean,
you've decided to have children.
Exactly. Like I was watching the interview you had with the lady from the insurance company. It's a life decision. But when you recognize that this human resource is important to your organization, and this very beautiful thing of having a family is important to her, then it should be important to you as well. And so we need to start having those conversations about how childcare is handled in corporate organizations, how women are supported to ensure that they are not made to feel that they are worrying us or they are bothering us when you say you are going to antenatal, or when you're calling and say you have a sick child. I've actually had a situation where just out of the blue, like how toddlers behave, a particular morning, one of my children was just having it. He was not he was not in the mood to do anything. And so I arrived at a meeting late, and I was given prior information that I'm running late. I didn't give the reason, but when I walked in, these were people who I thought were we were cordial, and I explained what happened in a very light-hearted way, and I got the response, "Oh, it's not important to you. If it was important to you, you'd have left him and come here." And I mean, that's one of that's one of the comments that you get, and you just immediately ask yourself, what's going on? Like, am I doing the right thing? And there's this huge part of the mommy guilt where you have responsibilities, you possibly have to travel. For a large part of my career, I've had to do a lot of traveling, and you always get the point where, am I doing the right thing? But I read something very early that said that if you don't express the ambition that you have in a way that makes you feel fulfilled, later on in life, you begin to get resentful. Resentful that because of circumstances, you're not able to express it. So as much as possible, try to. So those for me are some of the key issues, that the environment needs to be more supportive. The environment needs to recognize that we're very important parts of where we are. We're not, and our responsibilities are not additions. It's not baggage. So if I show up at an event with my 5 children, I don't have 5 children. But if I do, what's the big deal? I shouldn't have people sneering at me or anything like that. And if a young lady shows up at work and she's pregnant, it should not be a reason not to confirm her, or a reason to say that we can't employ you, things like that. And those things happen. So people get pregnant at work and they get so terrified because they're not sure if they'll be allowed, they'll be maintained, because they get the sense that I'm going to be treated or I will just be let go, and it happens. So there are different things like that. There's the stereotypes where you hear a man saying, I've never had a female boss before, I don't know how to report to a woman. I've had someone say that to me, and I said to him, well, I'm not going anywhere, so I mean
get used to it.
Get used to it, exactly. So there's that. There's the idea that you're supposed to be everybody's mother and sister at work, and whether you want to be or not. I don't think there's anything wrong with being motherly or sisterly, but you should not be compelled. So the young woman in the meeting shouldn't be the one who has to make tea for everyone. I mean, go to the table and make your own tea. If she offers you, that's fine. And I even tell young women that don't make yourself the auntie or the sister, the organizer of wache at every party, office party, just because you want to look good or you want to be accepted. You're there for a job, so do your job well. The relationships at work are very important, but be very measured how you want to build those relationships, because you can just be boxed. I mean, you can be hired as an accountant or an account executive, and you end up just being the one who everybody calls and says, go and buy me beans, go and buy me wachi, and because you want to be accepted, you
find yourself doing those things.
Exactly, you become irrelevant. And organizations thrive on productivity. So how productive are you to the organization? What value are you bringing? If they want to cut jobs, they're not going to be thinking about, oh, she's the one who is always nice to everybody. They're going to ask, how are you actually contributing to the bottom line of this organization? So those are just some of the things. I mean, you can talk about so many things. Harassment.
Oh yes,
at
I
work.
can even talk about something that I picked from the book, and that has to do with the fact that the lady who woke up from Sunday, who hadn't had enough sleep from Sunday night into the next morning, had to go meet a very terrible boss, whom after she reported to, maybe she gave a report, was like, is that all? So like she was not appreciated at all. And I also saw a part that really plays out very well. It has to do with relationships with our spouses. The lady I'm talking about in the book, I don't want to reveal too much because you need to go and read this book, had her husband applying for a job. So that was when Manche was applying to the university through Professor Rotimi. The husband was applying for a job, and it didn't look like there were some discussions that had gone on. The man applied, he was looking forward to go and do the job. He was going to move from where he was to a different place, and the woman had absolutely no say in it.
Yeah.
He just takes his decision and he's moving, and the men expect that the woman would have to understand and tag along.
Yeah.
The same thing with women. When it has to do with, oh, the child is sick, they are the ones who have to take permission at work to say, oh, I can't come. And sometimes if you have maybe about 3 or 4 children and they are taking turns to get sick, you keep taking permissions. We do not have the men say, oh, last week or 2 weeks ago, you took several permissions. So it doesn't really look good on you if you have to take another one again. I think today, let me take the permission from my workplace to take our children to school. So this is part of the struggle we have. A lot of women may not say this to their spouses because it may look like you're shirking your duty, you know, as per like being a mother. But the thing is, it really worries the women. We have to be the ones to always make the sacrifices when you're also there to support us with the sacrifices. And in a case where both of us are working, I mean, we need to be able to come to that point where we need to understand that let's share this burden or let's share this responsibility, if I don't want to use the word, the burden. So if you have other struggles that you're going through that we haven't mentioned, when we open the phone lines, we would like you to please call through and share it. When you share it, maybe some people will be listening and they will get to learn from it that these things actually affect us. Because when you're not happy that you're making too many sacrifices, it affects the bedroom. You're moody, even your dressing changes. You don't look so attractive anymore because it's like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You feel so not appreciated. And it goes on and on and on and on. So for those of you who are thinking that, oh, it's not about promotion, it's not about harassment, okay, there are other real issues that we face, okay? The sacrifice that we make, we need to also have a balance when it comes to that. We love our children, but you know, we work. But please, we will need you to understand if you are a spouse who is watching us right now. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When we return, we would like to talk about what friendships can do to support any working woman. in the space of the business world. Do not go away. And you are welcome back to ETV Ghana's African Women's Voices show. I'm going quickly to our Facebook page to read up some more comments. I see from Naomi Kweku, she says, great show, looking great. I see from Otu Frederica, she's the dietitian. She says, we need a day in between Saturday and Sunday as women. We hear you. And then Eva Frimpong says, so true and well said, dear. Now we have Nana Wazinga. I'm watching you live from Libya. Thanks for the good job. Thank you so much for joining us, Nana. And Audrey Akakia says, awesome moment. Theophilus Mensah says, Petra. Theophilus says, nice shoes.
Thank you, Theophilus.
Then Abbas, Gidan Goro Abbas comes back again with his hearts. Thank you so much for sharing that. So now we are coming to talk about the power of support systems, you know, for a woman in the corporate world. Let's look at how we can get ourselves support, our friendships, our families. What kind of support system can we build around us to help us through the corporate world? So over to you.
I'll say the first thing is choose your partner or partners in terms of people you want to grow your career with. So friends, family, properly. I read a research document by the Harvard Business Review that said there are only two options for women, ambitious women in the corporate world. You either get a supportive partner or you stay single.
Okay.
And I felt that the caption was so harsh. But when I read the research, it actually was very revealing in that it gave the statistics in relation to women who had to leave the corporate world because, one, childcare or not enough support, where they kept feeling the pressure of combining these two. And so there was also another part of the research that said that a lot of women were seeking to leave their unions when they got into their 50s because that's where they felt that, okay, the children are now old enough, they can survive without me, I'm now going to focus on my relationship. And the men were very surprised, like, okay, what's going on? We've been together for 20 years. Why are you now leaving? And it's at this point she's saying to herself, I want to make something out of my career. I want to make something out of my life. So the first thing is you need to choose somebody who has the right mindset. I mean, the conversations around gender stereotypes cannot go away because you have a beautiful face or you hugged him very well. It has to be that this person has the right mindset, because if you are speaking to a man and he keeps telling you that, oh, it's your job to do the cleaning and it's your job to do the cooking and it's your job to take care of the children, I don't want anybody in my house to do it, and we can't use a machine and we can't do that and we can't do that, then you need to be very quick in realizing that this is what is going to be later, because he's not going to change out of the blue and become a totally different person. So it's important that that conversation happens very early. I think that in falling in love,
yeah.
And you remember from the book where Chidi was trying to decide on whether to move to Ghana, and he took a very logical process in deciding. He felt that it wasn't going to be very good for his career. On the flip side, anytime Yomba was thinking about Chidi, she was always thinking about, oh, can I relocate to Nigeria? Because Chidi was there. So we tend to take a lot of decisions based on the emotions of it as women, and we need to begin to be a bit more head first before heart, which might come across as being very tough, but that's the truth of the matter, because these career decisions are very important to you. They're decisions that when you don't make the right decisions, you feel the impact on yourself. So don't relegate them to the decisions and the whims of someone else. For instance, when Manche was deciding on moving from Canada to Nigeria to take up the job, he didn't have any conversation with his girlfriend at the time, Amy. He just decided and he assumed that she was going to move with him. Yes. And that's what happens. I mean, if a woman got a job maybe outside Accra, she'll be expected to either decline or to commute. So she would go and be moving between her family and her job. But if it was the other way around, the assumption would just be that pack up your bags and go and be where your husband is. And if you say you don't want to go, then the perception will be like, okay, what's wrong with you? Don't you want, you know? But we need to come to the point where we are clear about the fact that a woman's career is a woman's career. It is not she's not a second-class citizen in this relationship. She's not subject to somebody else's decisions. The decisions must be taken in a way that she takes precedence for her decisions. She's the one in the forefront of what she's deciding. And because you're in a partnership, then the other people in the partnership should be taken into consideration as well. So if they're children, you want to think, okay, what's in the best interest for them? But what does she want to do with her career? So you don't just decide that, okay, so her job keeps her out of the house till maybe 7 or 8 p.m. and that's not good for us. So leave the job, come and sit at home, and I'll pay you. And
which most of the time doesn't really happen.
And even if it did, we don't only work because of money. We also work because of one of the things that we can do, or one of the reasons why we are here on earth is to express certain abilities. So people don't just work for money. You can work in an NGO setting and you're not making money, but you're feeling fulfilled. You're expressing your talents. You're supporting other people. So the fact that she's going out and she's doing things, it's not just come and sit at home and let me pay you. Matter.
Yeah, because the fulfillment aspect
is very important. Yes, I mean, I always joke with my friends that that's not why my mother sent me to school. I mean, your parents invest in you, you invest in yourself. I mean, God brought you into the world as a full package, not an addendum to somebody else. Okay, so it's important that we choose. We need to choose well. I think in quite a number of instances, we are passively accepting to be chosen, to be picked.
Yeah, because they make us feel guilty when we don't choose what they want us to choose. So for that reason, we just sacrifice everything as usual and just move along.
You know, so I say that don't start something you can't continue. So have those conversations at the beginning. It's like how you relate to friends and in-laws and family. If it's something you can't be consistent at, please don't start. So Amy took a very good decision and said to him, I have no ambition to move to Nigeria with you. I'm not moving to Africa or any African country. If you want to stay in this relationship, it's going to be a long-distance relationship. Unfortunately, the relationship fell apart.
Yeah. Then bosses showed up. All right, so we don't really have much time, but if you're able to get yourself very quickly to your phone, the phone lines are activated right now. So you could give us a call and share any of the struggles that you're going through. So the number is 0555 65 7278. Give us a call. All right, so leaving the conversation towards another side about having fun. A lot of times when corporate women have fun, people like frown at it. I never knew you could do this, you know, because they see you so serious working, and then they see you somewhere else, maybe dancing or acting. You're doing something that you really like. People are like, hey, you know, it's like, it's not normal. So should we really, you know, have fun, or are we just supposed to be the way robots?
We should definitely have fun. I mean, I think was it Kidi who said, "Problem no they finish."
You know they finish.
So just enjoy. You know, but like seriously, life has to be balanced. You work very hard. You have to find a way to de-stress. Apart from just de-stressing, the social interactions that we have help us in our work as well. They help businesses. I mean, off air, we're talking about the mutual friends we have. These relationships are important for your development as well. Your social capital is so important in your journey in the corporate world. You're not going to succeed as much as you want without relationships, without a network. So when we say that your network is your net worth, the people you know, the social capital you have is gold.
Please hold the line. I hear we have a caller.
Okay.
Hello, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Okay, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Okay, my name is Inshira and I'm calling from Mamprobi.
Okay, please go ahead and share.
Okay, I'm enjoying your program and I'm enjoying everything that Petra is sharing to us, and I'm learning a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay,
so you wanted to share that. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Wow, from Mamprobi. She's enjoying the show. So we need you to tune in this and every Wednesday, okay? Thank you. All right, so getting back to our network and our net worth. And that goes to say to a lot of women, too, who also do not want to engage with other people.
Yes.
They're not friendly at all. You see them, they're always keeping a very straight face.
Yeah.
That's not good as well.
No. And I think that sometimes it's also not knowing how to go about it. So there's a very thin line between growing your network and coming across as what we say in Chi and Honsheshe. So you're forcing yourself on people. There's a strategy to growing a network. It's not, you don't have to be a parasite, first thing. Being an effective part of a network actually means that you exchange value for value. You are genuinely interested in people, you support other people, you grow relationships genuinely. You're not just waiting to say, oh, I need a job, and then who do I know in that organization to call? That's not how it works. And right now we have social media, which has given us a wonderful opportunity to meet people we otherwise would not have met. But you can't just be friends with somebody on Facebook and think that once in a while you send them a message and that means you're friends. You have to be intentional about growing those relationships as well. And you would realize that those relationships from the virtual world that you're able to grow into real life are also very, very important relationships. So you have to be intentional. I mean, if you want to grow in your career, in your whatever you're doing in business, people are the center of it. And there's research that says that you're always 4 people away from someone you want to meet. So if you want to meet the president, or you want to meet Barack Obama or Michelle Obama or whoever you want to meet, you can get to them by knowing somebody else. Okay, so it's an intentional part of growth. I think that that's an area where women are a bit laid back.
And we really need to be able to
work on it more. But I think it's also about how it's done. So sometimes you feel you can't go out too late into the night. You have to find a balance.
Awesome. Interestingly, time is up. And we definitely will have Petra back to the studio one of these days. Petra, please, you need to make time for us.
No
okay?
Problem. No problem.
Okay, so I want to say a very big thank you to all those who supported this show. Chanashito, Afariwa Styles, Woz Hair, Lizzie's Tomato Mix. Thank you all so much for supporting us. And the repeat broadcast of this show is brought to you on Saturdays at 12 noon. It will be uploaded on YouTube tomorrow. So please make a date with us again online and enjoy the rest of the program. So right now we're going to be linking you up very soon to Late Night Celebrity Show with Foster and his friends. So do enjoy the rest of our interesting lineup for you. Bye-bye.